large amount of blood, high impact velocity spatter.
It was evident immediately that there was a great deal of rage and overkill.
There's just no words to explain how somebody could have done such a vicious act on a good person.
It'll always be my duty to shed light on the truth so that people know exactly what happened, exactly who did it, and exactly why they did it.
Ambulance dispatch right away to 3662 Carmel Ridge.
Okay, what's the problem there?
My husband went around back and hit the ditch lot all over.
I showed up about 10 o'clock that night, and it looked kind of like, I'd say, a baseball game. There were lights everywhere. They were all reporting live because these kinds of things don't happen in Edgewood.
The only family that I knew that lived on that street was that family, and I just hoped and prayed that it was not that family. And when I heard it was, I was just numb.
Edgewood, a suburb of Cincinnati, is called a bedroom community for good reason. It's sleepy, safe, and the last place you'd expect to find a crime scene.
Edgewood is very nice, very affluent, and very quiet. Just a few minutes from the Greater Cincinnati Airport. The Cravens lived at the end of a cul-de-sac, and at the time they had 2 children. So this neighborhood they moved into was perfect for that.
Stephen Craven was a pilot who worked very hard to become a commercial airline pilot. He went to the Coast Guard, learned how to fly there, flew for the United States Coast Guard in Southern California, and that's where he met Adele.
Find a contractor?
Was I supposed to find a contractor? Hey, I'm on it.
It was a happy family life. They vacationed together, Steve played with the kids, they even had a pet ferret that was the mascot of the house. It was a happy house.
Oh, watch out. Who's gonna get?
I would say the Cravens were living the American dream.
But she was lonely. I think that when husbands travel, that tends to be the case with a lot of wives.
Adele's also a relative newcomer to the greater Cincinnati area.
Adele's Latino. She comes out to this area from Southern California, and there's not a large Latino population, so Adele felt somewhat isolated. So it had to have been rough on her.
Adele fills the void by finding a project that soon takes on a life of its own.
Adele had big plans for the basement. She wanted to make a nice master bedroom suite with a bathroom and walk-in closet. She wanted to have family from California and Steve's family come in to visit and be comfortable and have a private area.
Adele grew up in basically a poverty-type neighborhood, and so it was sort of a hard-scrabble life. But with Stephen, she had an opportunity for a better life. She really wanted to make it a wonderful home for the kids and for the family, and so she dedicated a great deal of time and energy into that.
Stephen would take trips, and they would be anywhere between 5 and 6 days at a time, and he would fly around, staying in hotels, and eating good food, and Adele was left behind to look after the children, and I know that as is life for many airline pilots, it can be difficult.
At the stage of the career that Steve was at, he was gone about half the month, but the other half of the month, he's at home with no work assignments at all. I mean, he was dedicated to his sons, dedicated to his wife.
Back to work. Already?
Rusty McIntyre worked several jobs. He had a full-time job as a baggage handler. He also worked doing renovations.
To augment his income, he worked for his father doing construction, and he was struggling, wanted to be a contractor of his own.
Stephen knows the basement renovation means a lot to Adele, and he hires Rusty to work on the project.
Well, this is it. My big question is whether you think we need to dig, or is there enough ceiling?
Is this what I think it is?
It better be. Cost me $1,200. We'll take it out sometime.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Here comes the real boss.
Hi.
My wife, Adele.
Oh, now I get why they call you Rusty.
Steve would befriend just about anybody. They had a connection at the airline. They had something in common.
Well, I got a plane to fly.
Okay, I love you.
They contracted Rusty to complete the renovations of the basement. Rusty came and went whenever he had spare time to work on the basement, and he had his own key to the home to let himself in and let himself out.
Oh, Lord. Look at that house.
Rusty's